All right, we're going to discuss a fairly common topic, subject, question, okay? But not something that I typically place a lot of importance on, or the guys I work with, they place on, because really essentially this is a keyboard jockey topic, okay? In fact, this is one of those barriers to entry, bro. I don't feel like doing it. I don't think I should do it. I won't. It's not going to work out for me because of this, right? So it's a barrier to entry. Essentially what I'm saying is that this is what separates the noobs from everybody else, action takers, okay? The question is, do looks and status, or do looks and money and height and all that shit, do they matter, okay? And the answer is damn right they fucking matter, okay? If you don't have game, they absolutely matter, okay? Totally, all right? If you suck at life or everything or just being social and you've got a buddy next to you who's 6'2" and you're 5'8" and he's good looking, then yes, the girls will naturally gravitate towards him, okay? But you have to see this from the real perspective, okay? That essentially what's happening here is that just a guy, because he sits higher than others, he's simply better able to advertise that, or not better able, but he's simply he's advertising a little bit taller is essentially what's happening, okay? That's not really that big of a deal at all, okay? Let me give you a little bit of background on me. So I was 18 years old, I was a college freshman, and I was gregarious. I was huge. I was kind of bigger than life at that point, and I got the whole name Man-whore, okay? I had a ton, dozens and dozens and dozens of female friends, friends all over, hundreds of friends, huge extended social circle, and they were all calling me Man-whore, okay? So just so if you guys are wondering, I didn't choose this fucking shit. It got given to me, just kind of stuck, and 17 years later, here we are, okay? Point being, though, that, you know, on campus, in the dorms, in the whole UCSD social life, the scene, I was known, whatever you want to describe that. I had secret admirers. I had girls sneaking into my bed. I'd wake up in the middle of the night, go to the bathroom, and I'd come back, and there'd be a girl that would have snuck into my bed, and she's trying to show me her panties, and et cetera, et cetera. So this is me, right? Fast forward a couple of years, and we all turned 21 together. And we all go out to the clubs and nightclubs and bars together, okay? Funny thing happened, all right? A couple of girls are talking to us, and here's the thing. I always have had, always will have, confident, outgoing friends, okay? This is a choice we all make, okay? Some of you think that choice got taken away from you. It hadn't, it hasn't, okay? Choose again. But yes, I will always have outgoing, confident friends, charismatic, etc., okay? Typically speaking, for whatever reason that we'll go into soon, these guys are usually tall and good looking, okay? Life is dictated to them that, shit, you can be confident, bro. And confidence is a sort of an abstract term. You don't go in a situation thinking, I'm gonna be confident, bro. No, in hindsight, you look at it. So in fact, confidence is sort of like a false flag, okay? It's not really what defines a person, all right? You can look back afterwards and say, he was confident, but that's not really in the moment what's happening. We'll go into that more in a second here. So we're 21 years old, hitting the clubs for the first goddamn time, or first times, etc. And there's two hotties, and I'm with a buddy, and he's very good looking, and he's 6'2", and so I'm thinking, I'm gonna get one, he's gonna get the other. But no, and actually what happens is both are enamored by him, both are like on him, okay? And this was the thing that started happening when I was 21, okay? Here's the deal. Most guys experience this, see this, and take this as reality. It's like, oh, I'm a this is what's allotted to me, this is what's allotted to him, and they assume a very shitty perspective on life, their lot in life, and their future, okay? Complete nonsense, complete bullshit, okay? Like I said, that's just simply another way of advertising, okay? There are things way more important, way more effective, way easier, clearly, than heights or looks or even status. Status is a function over time. Clearly, you can't be like, I'm this, like it doesn't work, right? So I had to figure out what I had going or what I needed to do to handle this and to not just meet or match, but surpass and overcome easily the so-called advantages that my friends had that were taller and better looking than me, okay? That's game. The mechanics of game are vocals, flow, projection, body language, facial expression, eye contact. Yo, right? You have advertising equipment that you're supposed to use. And guess what? Your voice, the way you project, the way you speak, this is much more of an indicator of who you are and your value than height will ever be. Ever. It's ridiculous that you would think that, okay? Here's the thing. Women are not very superficial. They're just not, okay? I know like guys peering through the keyhole, well, people, women, like, oh my God, they're, you know, like they talk shit because that's all they manage to figure out. But I'm here to tell you, women are just simply not, they're just not superficial. They're not. They measure men by, they measure men by a much more truthful outlook than I think that men measure women, to be honest, okay? And truthfully, because this is reality and this is what makes a man and what makes a man functional and competent and successful in life, women have a much keener grasp of what those are, okay? Your voice, the way you talk, the way you communicate, gives a much clearer picture of who you are and if she should be fucking you or not. Straight up, straight the fuck up, okay? Hold on, another story real quick. I was on boot camp. It was me, Tyler. We were in Vegas. We were taking the boys to Excess. Actually, at this point, I had stopped being an active participant. I wasn't really like guest instructing. I just was hanging out at this point. And I walk into Excess. No, I think this was Trist. This was years ago. And Tyler's with a student. And they're like, you can tell they're conspiring. And they're like doing this, like talking to each other. And then they look up and there's like this tall blonde chick with big boobs standing there against like the little partition there, you know, by the DJ booth. And they're like doing this, and I can tell what's happening. That Tyler is coaching this guy to approach this chick and like get something. They're both, you know, inches shorter than her. And I watch this and I'm like, this is hilarious. And I laugh because she's my girl and that's what I'm here for. So I walk up to her and I fucking grab her and she's like, ah, and she just melts in my arms. And then we hang out and then we take off from there and she sucks my dick for hours. Anyway, I may have to edit that part out, but that is definitely what I remember of the ensuing scene. Anyway, I'm talking to Tyler later, and he's shocked, surprised, exuberant, happy, whatever. I'm just making shit up at this point. And he's surprised, right? He's just like the whole like short guy, tall girl. And I never associate with this. It's just not in my mind. I've never lived a life that let that bleed onto me. I've lived a very successful life in all areas. And I think that's really what defines this. But I'm talking to Tyler and I'm like, don't you remember the short guys in high school that got all the hotties? And he goes, no. He's like, no, I don't. And that's really what's happening here is that I've never let that be an issue, and so it never was in all areas of life. Let's talk the holy trifecta: health, wealth, and love. Right? Health, what? Nutrition, fitness, sports. Okay. What? How is height an advantage? Basketball? The last 40 years, you guys have been fucking kowtowed by a sport where I still kill it at basketball, actually. I pick dudes like a fucking, like boogers, right? Like wrestling, swimming, there are so many areas of health and fitness and sports where height is not a factor in the slightest, but y'all are trying to let it be, okay? So that's clearly not anything. What? Wealth? College? Money? Job? They might have a little bit of an advantage, but clearly your ability to do a better job supersedes all of that, okay? In no way does that have to be a factor. Okay, what about women? Okay, clearly look at me, or not look at me, but understand who I am and what I am. I have certainly not lived a life defined by the fact that I'm shorter than some of the guys I'm competing with at the club. That is stupid. It has nothing to do with anything. Okay, at all, all right. I don't know if I mentioned this, but 21 years old with my buddies in the club, I had to figure out what I had that I could exercise and employ and use that would easily surpass and overcome the situation. Dude, 6 to 8 months later, I was the one pulling and they weren't getting laid. We were going out pulling 3 girls. I was the one fucking and they were getting blue balls. Okay? I'm the one pulling the hotties from the club within 20 minutes and my tall, good-looking firefighter buddies are going home alone. Okay? What's interesting is that they didn't think this was a bad thing. They didn't let this make them feel despondent. They just kept doing their thing, right? They love it, right? We don't have to have this like type attitude towards each other. We're not supposed to, okay? You exercise what makes you awesome. And if you don't know what that is, then you figure it the fuck out and you do it, okay? You do not have to live a life defined by stupid, shitty, weak stereotypes. Oh my God. Those are fucking awful. Straight up awful, okay? I've had Julian try to come into my set and take my girl. No. Brad. No, okay? And those 2 guys are world class, okay? I tool tall, good-looking dudes all the time. It's of no consequence, okay? Just a few months ago, Chateau nightclub, a couple of 6'4" German athletes trying to AMOG me, bro. I take my beer and I'm laughing. I'm like, this is hilarious. I'm having a good time with them. I see the little princess and start making out with her. Come to find out she's terrible at kissing, right? I'm like, I'm trying to train her, teach her, and it sucks. And I just leave. And then she's making out with one of these fucking German guys later, right? Women, here's the thing. The percentage of women that put up a hard no to guys that are shorter than them, okay? Most of you guys think that it's like the majority of them. It's not. It's very small. It's like 10, 15% that are like, you're shorter than me. I'm not going to sleep with you or even be friends with you. Okay? 10, 15%. All right? The perception of that amount of girls is like all of them. Okay? Do you know why? Do you know what's happening? Do you know why girls list this? Do you know why girls that are tall project that they're like this towards a guy that's shorter than them? Do you know why? Because they are so used to guys shorter than them projecting this onto them. Oh, you're not gonna like me, I'm shorter than you. It's the guy's complex. It's the guy's weird inferiority thing going on that's like, oh, you're taller than me. What the fuck? That's stupid. It's stupid. Well, how does that make sense? It doesn't make any sense, okay? You are not defined by your fucking height, that you sit higher than others. Oh my God, okay? It's just another weak-ass piece of advertising. Clearly you have better shit going on than that. Hopefully, and if you don't, you better develop it, okay? Because that is life. That's what you're designed and destined to do. Clearly. All right.